Uh, Basically, I am here to deliver you a seminar on Moodle LMS. So first of all, let me introduce the contents of today's my seminar. So it is I have divided into four parts. The first part will give you a brief about this what is LMS is, because I am starting from a basic. Then then I will switch over to the Moodle, then the site creation and settings. So there are different steps involved to create your own site, as well as different settings also. Then I will brief you about the site administration. It is a part of the Moodle. So that will be for the initial half an hour, that is 11 to 11:30. Then this is a module 1. Then module 2, it is regarding the how to upload the different resources, or the how to create the resources and how to upload in a Moodle. Then it is for near about 1 hour. So this module 2 will take somewhere near about 1 hour, starting from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. Then module 3 is regarding the evaluation part. So how we are going to evaluate the students using the Moodle LMS. And next, after the evaluation, then I will give you the demonstration of a course site, of my own course site. And lastly, the questioning answering. So this is how I have divided this 3 hour seminar into four modules. In between, there will be a lunch break somewhere around 12:30. It is okay? Can I go ahead, madam? Now my voice and my PPT is
Yes,
perfectly
sir.
okay?
Yes, you can go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you once again. So first, I will start with the module 1 that will go near about 30 hours. So the contents of this module 1 is about the LMS. So we will briefly see what is the LMS means. Then the creation of the website using the Moodle. Then we will switch over to the Moodle. In this Moodle, then we are going to see the how the website is created. Then how to log in. Then what are the different settings under the preferences. Then editor preferences. Then site registration, administration panel, and theme selector. So first I will explain you continuously till the 1:30. Then after that 1:30 we will have a questioning answering session. Okay. Then first of all, let us see what are the different expectations of the teacher this, during this pandemic and during this online teaching learning process. So basically, it's a user role. Then the students enrollment. So what is the role of this teacher as admin? Then how the students are enrolled to the course, how to upload the course different resources of the course into a Moodle, then what are the types of the assignments, then how to take the attendance of the students. These are the different expectation of the teachers. Then how to frame the quizzes, how to conduct the online exam, how to grade them, and how to keep the tracking of the student during the exam, and what are the different interactive method to interact with the students. So there is a discussion forum, what is the messaging system. So these are the different expectations of any teacher for this online teaching learning process. So basically, only there is only one solution. That is only one answer of all these expectations. That is a learning management system that we call as a LMS. So LMS is a platform where we can easily fulfill our expectations. So first of all, we see the what is LMS, Learning Management System. It's a basically a software application for administration, that means administration of the course, documentation, then the tracking of the students, then the reporting, different reports are generated, and delivery of the educational courses, and the training programs, and learning development programs. So these are the different. This is what the any LMS means. So LMS is a basically software which consists of all, which gives you all the different parameters. Then it's a there are three words: learning management system. So first of all, let us understand what is the meaning of learning, what is the meaning of management, and what is the meaning of system. So basically, learning helps student to learn a specific knowledge and skills. So why specific? Because this specific, that is LMS is common for all the different domain, maybe a technical, maybe a non-technical, but the methodology is the same. So that is why a specific knowledge. So depending on the teacher's expertise, whether it's a technical or non-technical. So that this learning helps students to learn any specific knowledge and develop or enhance the skills. Management means different management like administration, documentation, tracking of the progress of the students during online exam. So and system is nothing but the software application that allows you to manage all learning activity. You means the teacher. So software application is basically software application which allows any teacher to manage all learning activities. So this is what the LMS means. LMS means learning management system, and this is the meaning of learning, which helps students to learn, to enhance their skills and gain the knowledge. Management means administration, documentation, tracking, and so on. And system is nothing but the software application which allows you to manage all learning activities. So this is what the LMS means. Now we'll see the different features of this LMS. So basically, con- it's a contents management, practice, test, quizzes. Then assignment, we can frame different assignment, different quizzes. Then we can evaluate the students. We can give the we can do the assessment, grading, documentation. Then we can track the student. Then we can give the batches. That means we can award the students. Then we can issue the certificate also in online mode after completing all this particular task. So this is all possible in online mode. Okay. So what are the different benefits of LMS? The first benefit is very ease of access. So anyone from any part of the geographical, there is no geographical constraint. So any student can access this platform. It's a very user-friendly interface between students, teacher, and the that is a study materials. Then it's a time saving also. Then it's a cost effective also. It's a blended learning. Blended means some courses, some delivery may be online, some may be offline. So it can be used very well used in a blended mode, and there is no geographical independent learning. So there is no geographical constraint. So these are the different benefits of LMS, any learning management system. So there are different types of the virtual learning environment, like Google Classroom. You may be aware of this Google Classroom. You may be aware of this uh, different Schoolology is also LMS. Blackboard is also LMS. So out of this, we are going to study about the Moodle LMS. So this is the one type of LMS, Learning Management System. Then basically, what is Moodle? So basically, Moodle stands for Modular Object-Oriented Dynamic Learning Environment. So this is the long form of Moodle. It's a modular, object-oriented, very dynamic, and used for the learning for the different environment. So this is the long form of the Moodle. Basically, Moodle is a free and open source learning. So it's a freely available. There is no need to pay anything. Moodle is a free and open source learning management system written in PHP. PHP is the software language programming. It is written in PHP language. The Moodle is used for blended learning, distance education, flipped classroom, and other e-learning projects in schools and universities. So nowadays it is widely used in different schools, universities, and the colleges also. So it is used for interactive learning for teachers and students. And Moodle can be used in many types of environment, such as the education, training, development, and business settings. So these are the different application of the Moodle. What are the different benefits of the Moodle? So first of all, it's a very user-friendly interface between the student, teacher, and the contents. Madam, can you mute all the participants? Hello, hello, madam.
सुरेश सर तुमचा आवाज येतो करा बरं
Hello.
डॉक्टर सुरेश
Yeah. Now it's okay. My voice is okay. Hello.
Your voice is clear, sir. No problem. Some disturbance is there.
Yeah, actually there was some disturbance. Yeah, please mute all the participants so that there should not be any distortion during the delivery of this seminar. Yeah, now my voice is clear, sir.
Pretty much clear.
Hello. Okay. So I will go ahead. So these are the different benefits of the Moodle. So first of all, it's a user-friendly interface between the students and teachers. Then we can manage very easily contents management. then ease of access, blended learning features, then assessment and testing, and reporting and the tracking. So these are the different benefits of the Moodle. Once again, I am just reconfirming my voice is clear so that I can go ahead.
Yes, sir. It is clear now.
Okay, okay. So basically, this is the structure of Moodle. So if you can see, so there are 3 to 4 layers. That is Moodle site. So first of all, we have to create the Moodle site, then categories, then course management, and also the front page setting. So first of all, it is divided into 3 parts, 4 parts. That is site creation, settings, resource addition, and evaluation reports. So this is how I have divided depending on this category structure of the Moodle. I have divided this seminar into basically 3 model, mainly 3 model. Model 1, we are going to see site creation, settings. Model 2, resource addition, and model 3, evaluation and different reports. So first of all, let us start. So with this brief introduction of this LMS, about the LMS, now let us start the module 1 that contains the site creation and the settings. Let us how to create your own website using the Moodle. So first www.genomio.com. So type this into a Google page. So you will find this type of image. Yeah, this type of URL. That is a Genomio, www.genomio.com. So after clicking on this, you have to just click on this, the first tab, that is genomio.com, Discord Moodle with our free hosting. You will pop up with this type of window where you have to write down the URL of your own choice. So this is your choice on choice of URL. Then put a valid email address, your email ID. Language is English by default. It is a English language, and accept it, and also create and click on the create site. So there are 3 mainly credentials, that is URL. So this is your choice. Then the valid, you put your valid email ID. Language is English by default, and click on the I have read and agree with the terms and condition of this Genomio. So you have to just click and click on the create. So you will get the mail from the genomio.com. So now go back to your mail ID. You will find this type of credentials which are created online. Okay, after putting your email and also and the URL. So check your email ID. You will find your website is created by, and also with your credential. Credential means username and password. So it is auto-generated by Genomio after putting your email and the website URL. Then open your mail ID and click on this your Moodle site. Okay. So first next window will be pop up. That is this one. You are showing the login and home page. Okay. So first of all, then initially with this credential, you have to log in with your page. So after clicking on login, you will again pop up with the next page giving you the username and password. So put whatever it is given in the whatever you have received in the mail ID. So that credential, that is username and password, put it in this pop-up window, and you can easily log in to your course. So this is a very simple method to create your website. So this is the first step you will find, you will get to create the website. Okay. Then so first of all, on the right side of your page, you will find an admin user. I will don't worry. At the end of this seminar, I will give you a demonstration of the created Moodle site of my own course. So at the right side, you will find a admin user. Admin user means you will be the admin of this course. So under this scroll down tab, you will find profile, grades, messages, preference, logout, and switch role. Okay. So next, after creating your website, so let us see what are the different settings under this preference. So under this admin user, just click on this preferences. You will find again the next window will open, that is the edit profile. So first of all you have to edit your profile. Okay, so after creating the website, next step is to edit the profile by logging to your website with the credential which is received through your mail. So after click on this edit profile, you will find the new password. So first of all you have to change the password. So whatever the system generated password you have received through the mail, and after login to your website, first of all you have to change the password. So you can write your first name, write your surname, and email ID is because this is the this website is created using the email ID. So you will see the email ID here. Then put your name, surname, and city name, and country also, and and time zone. So first of all, because time we have to select it, so select the Asia and Kolkata. Okay, so this is the most important uh, tab which you have to select the Asia and Kolkata. Otherwise, it will show something different time when the student will appear for the exam. So this is the you have to remember this. Select this Indian time as Asia and Kolkata. Scroll down this. So after scrolling down, you can upload your passport size photo. Then lastly, update profile. So all the credentials which we have uploaded will be saved. So again, I will go back to the previous slide because in one slide it is difficult to show you on this. So first of all, you have to edit your profile. So click on this edit. Next window will appear. So write down your first name, uh, password also, then city, then time zone, and scroll down. You can upload your passport size photo also. So these are not mandatory, but upload your passport size and click on update profile. So this is how the profile is updated with city, country, time zone, and photo. So this is the first step. After creating your website, you have to edit your profile. Okay. Next, under this preference, you will find the change password. Now you can change the password here. So currently this is a very simple step, and save the changes. So this is how you can change the password. So password is in the tab preference, and you will find the second tab, that is the change password. So the password must have at least 8 characters, as you are aware, because this we can use it in different website also. So at least one lowercase, one uppercase, and one special character like this. So this is how you can change the password and click on save changes. New password will be automatically created. Then next important is the editor preference. So editor preference is nothing but the text editor. So I will show you during the demonstration what is the difference between the default editor. Okay, so actually it is not mandatory to change the text editor, but in some text, if you want to bold some text, if you want to give some different colors, right? So for that, a different editor is required called a TinyMC HTML editor. So HTML editor have a facility to change the color, to change the bold, italic, and everything, underline everything, to include the special character also. It is not in the default editor. Okay, so that is why during this site creation also you can change this text editor by selecting this HTML editor. So this HTML editor has a different facility of having the different character and color and everything. summarize important data of all, and it create your thing. You have to register your site. Hand side you will find different tabs: dashboard, site home, calendar, private files and content, and at the bottom side you will find the site administration. So site administration, if you click on the site administration, a new window will pop up saying that your website is not registered. So first of all, uh, you have to register your website. So it's a very simple, again, simple process. So click on the site administration, the new window will pop up. Your site is not registered. So just click on this register your site, that's all. And scroll down. All these are by default settings. There is no need to change any setting. At the bottom side, click on this register your website. I just click on this. I agree to the terms and all this. And click on this register your tab. So you will get the message that site registration confirmed. That is this process is successfully done. So this is the second step after creating your website. Register your site. So for that you have to go back to the last bottom tab, that is site administration. I will show you during the demonstration where the tab is. Then after clicking on the site administration one, mentioning that register your site. So the first step to register your website. Then let us I will give you brief about this. There are different settings also. So I will just briefly explain you the administration panel. So again, go back to the site administration at the lowest bottom tab. Site administration and user. User means now it is used to upload the students' data, because you have to enroll the students for your course. So this user tab is very much important. So first tab is browse list of the users. So after enrolling the students, you can see the list of the students which are enrolled by you for your course, which gives you the details of the students added in your site. Then next one, here you will find, if you see site, upload users. So this tab is used to add the students or enroll the students for your course, that we will see in coming slides. And next is the upload user pictures. That means students passport size photo can be uploaded also along with their name and everything. So there are three tabs is important under this user, which is under the site administration user, and under this user three tabs is important: browse list to see the list of the students, if you want to see the list how many students are enrolled and what are their names and everything. Then upload users, so this is used initially to enroll the students and also their passport size photo, so which we will see shortly in coming slides. So these are the different settings under the site administration. So there are different tabs also: courses, grades, plugins. So at this stage we will see only the users. Okay. So this is the different settings of Moodle. Now we will go to the second module. So after, in the first module we have learned how to create the website, what are the different settings, how to register the website, and how to what is the steps involved to enroll the students. So 3 to 4 things we have seen in the first module. Now in the second module, that means we have created the website. Now we have to go inside the Moodle. That means the addition of the course, how the course is added, multiple courses. That means in this website we can add the multiple courses also. If any teacher is teaching a multiple subject, multiple course in one single website, a multiple course can also be included. Then upload users. Users means the students here. So we will see how the students are enrolled for your course, uploading their photo, then add course materials, add an activity, that is how to how to create the quizzes, how to sorry, how to add the assignments and different resources, Then what are the different types of the activities? Activities mean the different types of assignments, quizzes, add file, how to upload the file, add how to upload in folder also, and different types of quizzes, and also we can take the feedback online through this Moodle. So these are the contents of module 2. So first of all, once we have created the website, you will find at the bottom side, just now we have seen the site administration. So the first tab is dashboard and the site home. So you have to click on the site home. When you click on the site home, you will enter into the Moodle uh, Moodle platform. Okay. So after clicking on the site home, you will find sorry, and you have to scroll down. You will find available courses. Okay, so first of all you have to add your own course here. Okay, course means the subject. So any subject which you are teaching, you have to add here available courses. So click on this available course. A new pop-up window will open. Course full name. Course means the subject. So you have to write down the name of your subject, full name of your subject. Then second, you have to write down the short name of your course. So this red circle indicates that this information is mandatory. So first of all, write down the name of your course for which you are creating the your website, short name of your course, and I will show you this course start date and also the course end date. So you have to put it here. Okay, enable it and save it. So for this seminar, I have created one website called as a demo course for Moodle training. So I have given the name of this course as a demo course for Moodle training. Short form is DC, and I have updated the course start date and the course end date. And scroll down, you can also put the image of your course also. I will show you the image. So you have to store offline, you have to store the image on your laptop, and just click on this browser. You can just upload anywhere any image related with your course, and scroll down, you will find save and return. So these are the steps related with how to create the course. So course name, short form, time, and this is not a mandatory to upload the image. This is optional. If you want to upload it, you can upload it or just leave it. Only the two tabs is important: course full name and the course short name. Scroll down, you will find at the bottom side save and return. After clicking on this, you will find the demo course for Moodle training. So whatever you have written here, a new window will open. Then now this course is available for the students. Course means the subject. So now this website is created for the subject. Okay. So first of all, we have created the website. We have changed. We have different settings. We have seen the different settings, and also we have created the website of the concerned subject, concerned course. So this is the front page, that is the demo course for Moodle training. Now after entering up, next step is to just click on this course. Now you will enter into the Moodle course. Okay, so by default there will be 4 topics. You will see this window after creating this course. You will find by default topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, topic 4 means this is nothing but the topics or units of your subject. So you will see this type of window. Now how to add, first of all we will see how to enroll the process. Shortly, how to add the. So first of all, creating your website and a website of your subject. So first you need to enroll the students. It is one is a self enrollment. That means you can ask the student to join this course. So this is by the students, for which you have to give the website of your address, website address to your students. So you have to share the website. Like for example, here website which we have created for the demo course. So https democourse.genomio.com. If I share this to the students, there will be a tab that is self-enrollment method. That means student themselves can enroll this course for this subject. So this is the one method. But if there are so many students, if there are 120 students or 60 students in your class, then for the manual to enrollment, you have to track or you have to ensure or you have to track the enrollment of each students, all these 60 or 120 students. Instead of that, there is a one more method called as a bulk enrollment. That means faculty or teacher can also do the enrollment in this Moodle course in a bulk. Okay, so how to do this? So first of all, in manually offline, you have to prepare the list as per this format. Okay, so you have to write down the first name of the students, last name of the student. So this is the standard format to upload after creating this creating offline this Excel file, the data of the students you have to upload into a Moodle. So the format you have to remember this format: the first name of the students, then last name of the students, then the password. So by default you can select any password. After login by the student, they have to change the password. So you can keep a common password also. Here you can see on this slide I have put the common password, but definitely with a different username. Okay, and last is the email ID. So how to keep this username? So you can select any username, but preferably whatever the email, the first part of email, that means if you see any email ID, it is divided into two parts. The first part before, that is before at, and the after that, that is the domain. It may be a Gmail, it may be Yahoo, it may be a Reddit, and whatever. So you can select the first part of email as a username for that particular student. Okay, username should not be the same for two students. So normally in emails are different. It is a unique identity of the students or students or teachers. So you can select the first part of the email as their username. So likewise, for example, this is Prachi Kurjekar. The first part is Prachi Kurjekar. You can add this one also. That is not the problem. Like in the second case, Swapnil Patodia, like this. So whatever the first part of email, you can select as a username. And password, you can assign a common password to all the students for uploading or enrolling the data, or enrolling the students in a bulk. Okay, so this is the format you have to remember, and you have to write down in this same fashion also. First name, there is no space here. Last name, there is no space. Password, username, and email. So these 5 columns are very much important to upload the data or for the bulk enrollment. Now, after creating all this data of all the students, it may be a 200, it may be 500. Maximum capacity of any website is maximum is 500. So you can enroll maximum 500 students per website. Okay. Now you have to convert this Excel file into a CSV file, .csv file. So, this Excel side, go back to the Excel file, click on the save as. You will find when you scroll down, you will find CSV comma delimited. So you have to select this option, and this type of icon you will find. So this is called as a .csv file, because Moodle accepts only CSV file, not the Excel file. But in offline mode, you can create the data of the students in Excel file, because we are very comfortable to create the data in Excel file. Then convert that file into a CSV file. Now, after converting this file, you will find the this Excel file as a CSV file like this. So upper part is Excel file, and it is converted into a CSV file. You can see at the bottom side, same column, first name, last name, password, username, and email, but it is in the CSV file. So you will find the icon like this on your desktop or your laptop. Now this file is ready to upload into a Moodle site. So this is all offline work. That means for enrolling the students in a bulk, you have to first of all you have to create a Excel file of all Excel file consisting of all the data of the students, mainly in five tab: first name, last name, password, username, and email. I have also explained you how to use the user, how to select the username. It's nothing but the first part of email ID of the respective students. Then convert into a CSV file, and now this file is ready offline on your laptop or desktop to upload into the Moodle site. Now let us see how to upload this. So first of all, again go back to the dashboard. Then site administration, again scroll down at the bottom, you will find the site administration. And in earlier slide, I have shown you the different tabs under the user. So here upload users. Okay, so click on this upload user, you will find a new window will open and requesting you to choose the file. So the file which is created as a CSV file, now you can select this file here and upload it. And after selecting this file, you have just scroll down and upload the users. That means the file which is created offline on your laptop or desktop, now we are uploading into your site which is created. Okay, so this file, click on this upload users, then you will pop up with a new window. So upload users, whatever the data in Excel, you will find in the same fashion you will find on the Moodle site. So that is the first name. This is the CSV line. That is the that is nothing but the serial number, the first column. By default, it will create the CSV line number or the serial number. Then first name, last name, password, username, and email. Then upload users. Then all the data which is offline available in your laptop, it is now available on your website. Now we have entered the enter the data of students onto your Moodle site, but not on the course. Okay, so if you can scroll down, sorry, at the bottom side, upload users, you will find the you'll find the pop-up of the new window like this. Student's name is their own email ID like this. Okay, and continue. You scroll down, you will get a option of continue. Because if you can continue, then all the data is now uploaded into the Moodle, but not into the course. Now you have to enroll the students which is available in Moodle site to your course. Okay. So go back to the again no, sorry, first page. That is the first tab is the participants. Okay, so click on the participants, you will get the pop-up of this type of window, but you will find there is nothing to display and zero participants. That means we have uploaded the data of the students in Moodle site, Moodle software, but not to your course. Now we have to ship that data to your course, right? So how to do this? So if you click on this participant, you will get a pop-up of this window, and at the right side, you will see enroll users. So this tab you have to use to ship the data of the students to your course. So initially you will find nothing to display. So click on this enroll users. For adding students in course, click enroll users. So after clicking on this, new window will open, and you will find the student data before the search option. So this is the enrollment option. So it is divided into two parts. Upper part, there is no selection. You can find out. You can find the no selection, and at the bottom side, you will see the list of the students which we have uploaded offline using the CSV file. Now one by one, you have to select these students. Okay, if you select the first students, after selecting the student, this student's name will appear at the top. Okay, like this. See on the left side, This I have selected 2 students, and it appears at the top of the search option. So this is how you have to select one by one student. Then all the data of the students will appear above the search option, and there is a one tab after selecting all the students. There will be one tab at the right side, enroll users. So simply you have to click on the enroll users. Okay, so after clicking on enroll users, so before we have seen just before, there were 0 participants. Then we have used these enroll users, and using the search tab, we have added the students into the participants category. Now, if you can find out these 5 students which I have enrolled for this course. So you will find the name of the students, email ID, their roles, because we have enrolled them as a students, like this. Okay, so this is the process of enrolling the students in a bulk. This process is should have to be done by the faculty or the teacher. So you will find there are 3 tabs also. I will explain you shortly what is enroll. You can delete the option. You can delete the student also if any students get enrolled. There is a delete option. If you want to do any correction, there is a manual sorry, correction also. You have to delete, edit. You can edit the data if there is a spelling mistake in the student's name, right? So you can edit manually here and save. Now here you will find after enrolling the students, there is a one tab before this name. You will find some circle, that is Swapnil Prachi, like this. So this is for their photo. So you can add their passport size photo. So again, for this, again you have to make a one folder offline. Okay, so make a folder of passport, that is identity card. If you want, this is not a mandatory. If you want the student passport should also be uploaded, then you have to make a folder offline on your laptop or desktop, like this. For example, this photo, you have to rename this folder with its username. So whatever is the username of the students, so you have to rename the photo as its username. So rename each photo by a respective username of the students, so that Moodle can identify the photo of the students. If there are 60 students, then Moodle has to identify the respective photo and the students, and should go here only. So that is why this username, you have to rename the passport size photo as their username. Then make a zip folder. So after adding all this photo, renaming the photo as their username, make a zip folder, because Moodle will accept only the format like a zip. It will not accept like a simple folder. Okay, so after creating all the data of this photo, renaming all the photos as with their respective username, then convert it into a zip folder, and again go back to the site administration, and at the bottom side you will find upload user picture. Okay, if you select this, then new pop-up window will appear asking you to upload that zip folder here. Okay, here you will find accepted file type, only the zip. Normal folder will not accept by the Moodle. So you have to zip that folder and upload here. And if you scroll down, you will find the upload user picture. So automatically all the passports, that is the pictures, or that is the passport size photo, will appear with the respective students. Now you can see at the bottom side with their name, with their email, you can find out the their passport size photo. So like this. So this is called as this is the process of bulk enrollment. So there are 2 steps, that is the enrollment in a bulk. We'll just go back and summarize this. contents once again. If there is any query, you can ask me afterward. So we have seen this user tab to upload users and upload their picture. So to upload pictures, we have seen how you have to prepare the data of the students in Excel, convert it into a CSV file, and after going to the user tab and upload users, you can select this CSV file and scroll down and save the data. So all the students will get enrolled to your course. Just repeating the slide. Just have to refresh because this is also an important part. Because without students, you cannot conduct the test and all this. So this is the process to upload their passport size or iCard size photo. Again, you have to go back to the upload user and select that zip file and upload there. So these are the different steps or the screenshot to enroll the students in a bulk as well as in a manual way. Manual means the self-enrollment. In self-enrollment, you have to just share your site address to the students, so they will hit your website and they will find the self-enrollment process. They will put their username and password as per their choice, and they will get it enrolled into your course. So this way also you can ask your students to enroll your course, or else you can do it in a bulk manner by you. Now, after enrolling the students, now how to add the course material? So for that also, go back to the dashboard, and you will find below the dashboard, site home is there. Then click on the site home. You will find again the course name which we have created earlier, the name of the course. Click on this available course, and now you are inside the course. Now, how to add the contents of your course? So this is a by default. It is created like topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, topic 4. Now you have to add the contents of your course, which may be available in your laptop or PC into this site. So how to do this? So first of all, see the right side, there is a one gear icon. This is called as a gear icon. So below this, if you can click on this gear icon, you will find a different tabs: edit setting, course completion, filter, and all this. So we will see what is the backup and what is the meaning of the restore also afterwards. So after clicking on this, okay. So first of all, you will find below the gear icon, there is a one option called as a turn editing on. That means you have to edit it, because this is a by default. This is the site is created by the Moodle. Now you have to edit this. That means you have to add the contents of your course here. So for that purpose, you have to click on this turn editing on. So you have to make it on to make you enable. That is you have to make it edit enable. So you have to click on this turn editing on. Now you will find the option edit and add an activity. Now the website will allow you to add some contents or edit some contents. Okay, but for that purpose you have to use this. You have to make it enable. That is a turn editing on. So first of all, edit topic. Edit topic means the topic one. Now you have to rename this topic as per your course name. So first of all, let us click on this edit topic. So this window will appear. Now you can, the first step is custom. So you have to select this custom, you have to click on this custom, okay. And now topic one, by default it is topic one. Once you click on this custom, now it is editable. Now you can give the name of your content, like first unit, that is the demo course, unit 1, unit 3, whatever the name of your course, you can give it to the you can write down here, okay. And you can write down below this, there is a space, that is a summary given you for write down the description of this topic. So unit 1, what is the unit 1 is all about. So you can write down this topic is regarding the basics of wireless communication, whatever as per your choice. And if you scroll down, you will find the save changes, okay. So if you click on the save changes, this topic 1 will, we have edited the topic 1 as a unit 1 of demo course and the description below this. So this is how to add the, sorry, just to edit the name of your contents. We have not added the contents yet, okay. So this is the first step to convert this by default website topic 1, topic 2, topic 3 as per our requirement of the course with these steps. So first of all, turn editing on, edit topic, go to the topic, edit topic, and rename the topic as per your choice by selecting the custom. The selection of the custom is very important because otherwise uh, it will not be a enable. So write down the name and write down the description below this of a description of this unit, and just save changes. So you will find it is edited. So similarly, topic 2 also, to edit the topic 2, you can edit this and frame all topics of your course. If there are more than 4 topics, by default it is 4. If you initially you will find initially by default there is a topic 1, 2, 3, 4, only 4. If there are more than topic also, you can add some more topic also. Let's add an activity. Okay. So this is the steps to create the name the topic as per your course contents or subjects. Now you can hide. There are, if you go back to scroll down, you will find a hide topic. Hide topic means to hide from the students. If you want that all the units should not be visible to the students initially, okay, or some, so you can hide the contents from the students. So this is also a one feature which is available in the Moodle, to hide the topic from the students. Also there is a delete topic also. If it is wrongly done, then you can delete the topic also. So there are two, two tabs, hide topic and the delete topic. So these are the different steps to edit the name of the course content. Now we'll see the how to add the activities. Activity means the resource. For example, unit number 1. If the contents is available in Word format or PPT format, okay, you can upload here by using this add an activity or resource. So you just click on this add an activity and resources. The next window will open, which will give you the set of different activities. So you will find, once again I will go back to this. Okay. Now add an activities means now you have to add the contents of that particular topic, unit 1, unit 2, or unit 3. So to upload that file, upload that contents, which may be available in the PPT or Word or any format. So click on this add an activity or resource. You will find the set of different activities like assignments. There are two types of assignments. Then most important, I will just highlight here. Okay. The first is assignment. Feedback also. You can take the feedback from the students also. You can upload it as a file. You can upload the data as a folder. If there are multiple files available offline in your laptop, you can directly upload the folder also, or file, individual file wise, and also the quizzes. Quizzes is used for the online test. So there are different assignments, mainly now mainly used for by any teacher. So file, folder, assignment, quiz, and feedback. So we'll see one by one. So file. So how to upload this file? So you can after clicking on this add-on activity or resource, the new summary of the different activities will pop up. So you can select this file. After selecting the file, again the same is assignment, subtopics, and subtopic like this. So this is a file. This is the folder and assignments and sample quiz. So screenshot of different activities. Simply you have to click on this. One window will appear to upload that file, which may be available on your laptop or desktop. You have to just select that file and upload it. Simply it will get uploaded. Okay. Now all the contents which are available offline on your laptop, so all the contents are available here. Now here most important is the quiz. So I will show you the quizzes, how to add this. Now there are different types of the quizzes. For example, a multiple choice, true and false, short answer, numerical, and many more. There are nearby 13 types of the questions which is available in the Moodle. So I will explain you some of the quiz type. You can frame the questions by a single question, by the single question, or you can upload the question bank. Like for example, just now we have seen the uploading of the students in a bulk. In the similar fashion, you can upload the question bank. If the questions are more, if let us say the questions are 30, 40, 100, then it's very difficult manually any teacher to write on the question, then option like this. Okay, so in that facility is also available in Moodle. We can upload the question as a bank of any numbers. So first of all, let us see the settings for a single question. So as I told you, the first of all, edit settings and timing. I will explain you during this demonstration how what is this edit setting, timing, grade, review option, edit quiz. At this stage, please remember all these tabs: edit settings and timing also. So we can set the timing of the questions also. This quiz, timing of the quiz, then the time duration also, number of attempts also, which I will show you during the demonstration. Grades also, that means you can set the grades, like for example 10 marks, 20 marks, 30 marks like this. The review option is also there. That means after uploading, you can just review for any correction of this. Edit quiz also, that means after uploading, if there is any mistake, then you can edit the quiz also and add new questions. So these are the different settings tabs available to frame the single questions. And also there are some tabs related with the question bank, that is question bank, category, import, edit quiz, upload quiz. So all these types I will explain you during the demonstration. Now how to frame the quiz by the question bank. So first of all, frame the question bank. So manually again, this is a offline work. So you have to frame the, if there are more than, if there are questions are more, then frame the questions offline in the format. This is called as the icon format. It's a word format. This is called as the icon format. If you can type in Google icon format, you will get the format, or just you can copy this format. So first of all, first question, then core option, like you have to follow this format only, then and then Moodle will accept in uploading bulk uploading of the question bank. So I will explain you this icon format. So don't give any question number. So suppose for example, what is the remainder when a number is divided by the 25, and 4 option: a dot, no space, b dot, c dot. These are the different option. and below the option write down answer semicolon and the correct option. Like for example, the answer is 9. So you have to write down the answer B like this. So don't give question number. So this format is called as the icon format. Okay. So this you have to frame the question in Word format, like MS Office Word. So open the any blank Word file and type all the question in the similar fashion with the 4 option and also the answer below the option A, B, C, D, or maybe more or maybe less. So this is called as a icon format. And after framing all the questions in Word, you have to convert into a .txt file. Like in student enrollment, we have seen in Excel file we have converted into a CSV file, .csv file. In the similar fashion, for this question bank, this after setting all the framing all the questions in Word, you have to convert into a plain .txt format. Okay, so first step is to frame question bank in a simple Word format, then convert in .txt format. If you can go to the save as, you will find at the bottom side the plain .txt file. So convert this Word file into a .txt file. Then I will show you how to upload it. The rest of the process is same. How to upload it? That means you simply click, you will get the uh, that pop-up window uploading the file like this. So you will get the category, then this window will appear. You can upload this file whichever we have created as a question bank. So these are the different steps like this. Import questions. These are the different formats available in Moodle. Likewise, icon format. I have just told you to what is this icon format. There are some GIFT format also, which is also used to upload the question bank. But this is something complicated. So icon format is very simple. That means first of all you have to use this Word format and convert it into a .txt file using the icon format, and import all the question bank which is in the .txt format and upload it. Okay, so this is regarding the how to frame the questions into a Moodle enabled format. Now there is a facility, one more facility. We can frame the quiz by shuffling the questions in different category. If, for example, for your subject, if there are different 5 or 6 unit in a subject, and for the final test, if you want to frame the quiz by selecting the different questions from all the units. Like for example, I have created or shown 3 categories: category 1, category 2, category 3, with a 25 questions. That means I have selected a category 1 or created a folder with a 25 questions, then category 2 again 25 questions, and category 3 25 questions. Now I want to frame a quiz for students. We let us say for the 15 questions. Okay, 15 questions, that too in shuffled manner, and 5 questions from category 1, 5 questions from category 2, and 5 questions from the category 3, but with a shuffled manner. That means out of 25, it should randomly select any 5 from category 1, any 5 from category 2, and any 5 from the category 3. So this is how we can frame the quiz for the students in a shuffled manner. So this is also possible in Moodle. So each student, so what is the advantage of creating this type of question quiz? This is the advantage. Each students will get a different set of 15 questions, all shuffled. That means to avoid this copying and all this. So each students will get a different sequence of the question. First of all, different question set from the different category. So this is the advantage of this type of quiz setting which is available in the Moodle. So I will show you during the demonstration how this can be done. So this is the feature. I'm just explaining the different features to frame the questions. That is question by question you can frame. Then you can upload the question bank, and also you can frame the question quiz for in a shuffled manner. Shuffling means shuffling from all the randomly selecting from all the category of the question. Also in this Moodle, this game pedagogy is also available. So there are you can also select in the similar fashion. You can select the different quizzes in a using the game pedagogy. So again, the procedure is the same. Click on this. First of all, turn editing on. Add on activity or resources. You will find there are different resources available, like crossword, cryptex, hangman, hidden pictures, millennial, snakes and ladder, and so on. So these are the different game pedagogy available in the Moodle. So you can use this for online teaching learning process. Like the crossword. So you can frame the questions of your subject like this across down, and it will automatically, the Moodle will automatically create this grocery. First of all, you have to create the grocery of the questions. Then Moodle automatically will create the crossword. Student can learn. That means in game pedagogy is also used for learning of the students. So this is the one type. This is another type, snakes and ladders. For each game pedagogy, you have to create the question bank called as a grocery. This is another type of game pedagogy, that is millennial. So I will just show you the different types of cryptics is also there. Hidden picture is also there. So these are the different game pedagogy available in the Moodle. Okay. Then we'll see how to add the certificate. This Moodle has a facility to issue the certificate online after the completion of the specific task. Suppose, for example, if you conduct any test or any assignment, and if you want to issue the certificate to the students only after the completion of that particular task, then Moodle has a feature to issue the certificate automatically to the students. Okay. So I will just explain you how to do this. So first of all, you have to add the certificate. Again, go back to this site home, turn editing on, and click on this add an activity or resources. You will find the certificate, simple certificate. So click on this simple certificate. So first of all, you have to this new window will open. So you have to frame the certificate first of all into a two type. That is a one is template and another is the text. So I'll show you the. Okay. So their certificate is divided in two parts. First of all, template like this. Text is missing here in the text, here in the template, and another part is the text. So this certificate, you have to first of all you have to frame it into a Moodle into two parts. That is a template and the text. In text also, the student will get the certificate as per their first name and last name. Okay, because we have uploaded, we have enrolled the students with this name only, first name and last name. So automatically all the certificate will be created after the completion of any specific task given by you, like this. This is the final certificate, which is emailed automatically to all the students after completion of the assignment or task. The student can download from the Moodle website or through their mail ID also. So this is about the certificate. Any question up to this? Because I'm going very fast, maybe a fast. Yes, any question up to this?
No, sir.
Evaluation part, how the evaluation is done. Okay. First of all, again, I will show you all these tabs where it is exactly during the demonstration. So grade tab is there. Okay, grade means their marks and everything. So there are two options: setup and the export. So under the setup, this setup is used to know the details of the student wise marks, question wise marks, and number of students attended during the online test execution. So this is the use of this setup. Export means after the completion of all the tests, you can download the their marks or the summary of the scores in a Excel format. So there are normally two tabs are used under this grader report. Setup means you can observe, you can see the student progress during online test. You can see the question wise marks also, that I will show you, and student name also, how much time they have taken, and all the details during the execution of this test. And after the completion of the assignment and test, the export, you can use this export to download all the summary of their score. So remember these two tabs. So this is also, suppose for example setup. So this is a screenshot. You can see the name of the students with their email ID and the time taken, started time, end time, and the completion time. How much time he or she has taken to complete this task and what is the score. So out of 10 like this, you can see the progress of the student during the examination. So this setup is used to find just to track the students. Okay. In the first slide, I have shown you the tracking of the students. So tracking means to monitor the student performance during the during the test. The Moodle can also generate the report in a graphical way, so automatically. Then export. So if you export means to download all the students scores in Excel format. So this is a screenshot which you get after downloading the any particular piece. Like for example, this piece, this format is like this: first name, last name, and their scores. So you can get the summary of the scores at the end of the session or at the end of the year. So it is available in the Excel format. So this is what the documentation is. So as I told you, this is setup. During setup, appeared, finish, score, question wise scores like this. You can see the question wise marks also. If the question number one is from the question one, so what is the status of the marks for the different students? Suppose for example, this is the first student, the question number one is wrong, so that's why the score is 0, 0, like this. Their total scores out of grade 10, time taken, start time, end time, completed time, so and with the student's name. So this is, you can monitor during the conduction of the online test under the tab setup. Okay, this is another feature of backup. So backup means that after the let us say uh, after the completion of year, okay, for example, or semester, you can take the backup of this course. Okay, for which backup means that you can store this all the details of the course contents, like quizzes and everything, uh, offline. So this is used to take the backup of the course at the end of the year. Okay. So I will show you the question bank. Sorry, madam, I will stop the sharing of this PPT. Now I will show you the website.
Okay, sir.
That will be more. Can you see this, madam?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So first of all, I will show you. It's visible, na? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Visible.
Okay. So this is my website. I will show you. Okay. So initially, during the sorry. Okay. Now whatever I have explained you through this PPT and some through the screenshot, I will explain you through this demonstration. Okay. So as I told you earlier, there are different tabs available at the left side. So you can see this dashboard, site home, calendar, right files, and all that, and below that site administration. Okay. So first you have to click on this site home, and after clicking on site home, you have to scroll down. Okay, so you can find out the different courses available. Okay, so there are two courses available. This is my own website. So you can select any of the course. Suppose this is the last year's course, and this is the current year course. So just I will click on the this course. This course is nothing but the name of my subject, digital communication. If you click on this, now you will be going inside the Moodle. Okay, so first of all, I have shown this vision and mission of the. You can add this vision and mission. Okay, then course outcome. What is the course outcome? Okay, then subject introduction. Likewise, whatever the topic. So I have converted this topic as a unit one, unit two, unit one like this. Okay, unit one, that is source and waveform coding methods, and below that you can see the sub contents of the that unit. Okay. So this is how you can add the contents, you can upload. So this is the contents of this unit 2. It is in the PPT format or PDF format. Okay, this is the in the folder file study. If you can click this, like this folder. Okay, student can download this. Okay. So these are the different contents which I have explained you through this PPT, how to edit the uh, topic which is created by default, topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, into a different unit their sub contents like this. So this is all assignment I have given to the students. Okay, so I will explain you one by one. So first of all, how to create the edit the topic. Okay, then I will explain you the students enrollment. So there is a below this is the short form of my subject or course. Okay, initially I explain you how to create the course. Okay, and also the short form. So short form, so first tab is the short form of the course, and below that you will find the participants. Participant means the students. So if you click on this, you will find the list of the students. Okay, so these are the list of the students. That means 137 students are there which are enrolled for my course. Okay, and they are arranged you can search with their name, first name, last name also. If there are students are more, you can search them with first name and last name also. These are the different students which I have enrolled for my course. I have not uploaded their photo, so that's why this is showing as a blank. Okay. Also, I have explained you how to enroll this. So this is the enroll option. If you want to add some more students, then you will find a new window. Click on this enroll users. Now already I have added all the students. So that is why it will not show any names below this search. Okay. So, but initially during the first enrollment, you will find the list of the students below this search option, and one by one you can click on that students. It will automatically go at the top of this search option and again enroll. So all the student data will come here. That is under the these participants. So this is how first of all you have to enroll the students. Then I will show you how to add this quiz. Okay. So first of all, can you see the again? I'm just reconfirming before the demonstration of the quiz. Is it visible, madam?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. Okay. Now I will show you the demonstration of how to create the quiz and how to select how to create the quiz. First of all, how to set the question by question, and how to create the quiz by the random selection. So first of all, turn editing on. Okay. So first of all, you have to create the make the turn editing on. Now you will find there are options edit and all. So I will simply go back to the down. Okay. Okay. Now here add an activity. Okay. So click on this add an activity. Now here the set of different summaries of the activities you can find. So you can select the quiz. Suppose we want to create the quiz. So here it is quiz. Okay. So simply click on the quiz. Now new window will open. So this is the red circle. So this is the mandatory. So I will just demo quiz 2nd August. You can rename the quiz. Okay. You can write down the description of this quiz also, whatever the or demo. You can write down the description of the quiz. The quiz is related with the unit 1, unit 2, whatever. Okay. Or some practice, whatever. Practice test. Okay. Now here it is option display description on course. If we want to show these students below this heading, then you have to click on the display. Otherwise, student cannot see the description. Okay. So this is also you have to remember. This is the title of the quiz. Again, I'm just re-explaining title of the quiz. Then below that, you have to write down the description of the quiz. So quiz is what about. Then click on the display. Okay. If you click on the display, below this on our page, you will find the name of this quiz, demo quiz 2nd August, and below that you will find the for demo practice test. Otherwise, it will not be visible if you don't select this. Okay. Now the next step is timing. I will explain you all these most important uh, tabs used for the quiz. Now you will find if you click on this timing, you just click on the enable. Now we have to activate this quiz for certain duration. Suppose for example 2nd August, the student should appear for this test between, let us say, evening 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. let us say. So date is there, year is there, and time is there. Time is in the 24 format. So for example 16 and this is 30. Okay. Now the test will be available for the student on 2nd August from 6 to 6:30 only. Otherwise, student cannot appear for the test also. So this is the biggest advantage of this Moodle. It's a all the quiz we can conduct uh, in a by selecting the particular time. You can select the date also, next week also, next month also. Okay. So this option is available in Moodle. Next one is the grade. Now if you select the grade, sorry, the next one more picture. So next one is the time limit. Now we have given the time slot. I will just explain you what is the importance of this time limit. Now we have given the students, I will make it 6 to 7. We have framed this quiz for the students to appear from 6 to 7 p.m. The test is available for 1 hour, but if we want the test for only 20 minutes, okay, then just enable it and make it 20 minutes. So what is the meaning of this? that means student can log in between 6 to 7 p.m. at any time, but timer will start once he or she log in, and it will be automatically terminated after the 20 minutes. That means student have to appear the test within 20 minutes during this span time, 6 to 7. That means he or she can log in at 6. Test will, if he or she can log in at 6 p.m., then automatically 6:20 the test will be terminated or closed. Okay, so likewise, so this is also important uh, time limit. You can give it to 10 minutes also. So it's a 10-minute test like this. Then grade. Suppose the test is for 20 marks, so you can set the grade, that means for 50% criteria or 40% criteria, whatever. Okay, so the report will generate it automatically, or you can keep the blank like this. I will explain you question behavior. The most important here, review option. Okay, now I will explain you this review option. By default, don't change all other options. Okay, whatever the important tabs available for to set the quiz, that only I am explaining. That is a time limit, grade, and also the review option. So what is the meaning there? So there are four options available. So first of all, during the attempt. So during the attempt, student can check their answer. So normally we don't select this. Immediately after the attempt. So after the completion of the student can see their marks, their correct answer, right or wrong answer. Normally we also don't allow them to see this. Then later also, we also don't allow to them. Last important is the after the quiz is closed. That means after the completion of all the quiz. What is the completion time? Here it is a 7, not the 6 and 6:20. It is the 7. That means after the completion of the test, if any teacher wants a student to see their marks, correct marks, and their score also, it is possible through this review option. So you have to select all this. The attempt, that means after the completion of all the time, after the quiz is closed. So quiz will be closed at 7 p.m. today. So after closing the quiz, each student can see their marks and also the score also. So this is also an important review option. So you have to remember this review option. Then uh, rest of the settings are by default. I will just explain you the restrict action. I will explain you this restrict action. This may be useful for you. Restrict access means if you want the student first to submit the assignment, then go for this test. So this is called as a conditional test. This is also possible using this restrict access. Okay. And lastly, save and return to course. So you will find I have created at the bottom of the course. So you will find okay. Now here you will find on the main page demo quiz 2nd August and the description, because I have clicked on the display. Again I will just show you. Again I will go to the edit and I will just remove this and save and changes. Now you will find the description will not be visible for the students, only the demo quiz 2nd August. But the description, what the quiz is about. If you want to explain to the student, then you have to write down in the description of the quiz and click on the display. So first of all, we have created now the quiz. Okay. So this is the first step. Now how to frame the question. Now the next is we have to frame the question. Quiz is nothing but the online exam. Now we have to frame the question. So to frame the question, उसके बाजू में edit option है. Okay. So you will find. Sorry, I will explain you afterward. Now click on the demo quiz. इसके ऊपर click करेंगे. Now you can see the quiz will not be available until 2nd August. ये हमने टाइम ऑलरेडी सेट किया हुआ उसके. इसीलिए the quiz will not be available for the students. They cannot attempt, even though you made it visible for them. But since we have हमने ये टाइम फ्रेम किया है, तो ये जब तक ये it will be open at 6 p.m. only. Okay. Now there is no question. You will not find any question. So to add the question now, no question has been added. हमने खाली quiz अभी create किया है, but हमने question कोई add नहीं किया. Now हमको question add करना है. Okay, सबसे पहले. So go back to the edit quiz. Edit quiz में जाएंगे. मैंने by default 10 दिया है. By default, ठीक है. By default 10 आता है. You can change this also. Now the question is 0 here. Okay, and क्योंकि हमने टाइम ऑलरेडी दिया, तो यू विल फाइंड द 2 August 6 p.m. नाउ इफ यू स्क्रॉल डाउन यू विल फाइंड सम ऐड टैब. अगर इसको क्लिक करेंगे तो देयर विल बी 3 ऑप्शन. न्यू क्वेश्चन मीन्स you can frame the questions one by one manually. I will show you that also. Or else from the question bank, जो मैंने आपको प्रोसेस बताया कि आपको अगर एकदम 30 क्वेश्चन अपलोड करना है, that will also show you if time permits. You can directly select that question bank and you can import all the questions here. Or else third option is random question. Okay, so first of all I will explain you the random question. Okay, random question means I will just explain you if there are 3 different category. So I'll just click on this. I will explain it with the help of demo. Okay, now I have already created some category like this. Okay, it's not there here. Okay, I will show you the first one single question. Then I will explain you the how to set the quiz using the random question. So a new question. Okay, new question पर click करेंगे. Then you will find a multiple choice, true or false, matching, short answer. There are different types of the quizzes available. Okay, suppose for example, if we set the multiple choice. So multiple choice को select करो, then click on the add. Now here you can write on the question number 1. Question number 1 and question text. Now you have to write down the questions. Okay. Suppose for example, I can frame any question here. Okay, and
हेलो.
one of the multiple answer.
Yes.
Hi, yes madam.
किसी को कुछ पूछना है तो आप पूछिए, अगर कुछ आपके क्वेरीज
Yes,
होगी तो.
you can.
Yes, sir.
You can ask me.
ओके सर, हा टॉपिक झाला की मग आपण ब्रेक घेऊया.
चालेल. Okay,
चालेल ना?
madam, no
ओके
problem.
सर,
Okay, yeah.
कंटिन्यू.
So, okay. So you can frame the question here, and you can frame the multiple answer. Now here you can see one or multiple answer. So this question may have a single answer or the multiple answer also, right? So normally by default one answer is selected. Shuffle is also because shuffle means one question और जो ऑप्शन हम देंगे वो स्टूडेंट को शफलिंग वे में जाएंगे. इफ यू डोंट सिलेक्ट दिस देन ऑल जो भी सीक्वेंस रहेंगे ABCD वो सभी क्वेश्चन सभी स्टूडेंट को सेम दिखेगा. नॉर्मली इट्स बाय डिफॉल्ट ये ऑप्शन सिलेक्ट रहेगा. देन नंबर ऑफ चॉइस आपको अगर ABC फॉर्मेट में देना है 1 2 3 लाइक दिस या नो नंबरिंग देना है लाइक दिस आल्सो वी कैन डू. नाउ हियर द चॉइस इज 1. So you can write down your choice first. Okay, now if this question has a single answer, then you have to write down, you have to select the 100%. You can give the negative marking also. There are negative marking also. You can practice it. Suppose I have framed this question with a single answer. That means one answer only. Answer is only one. Then I need to select 100% for a correct option. Suppose this is correct option. Okay. So I have selected 100%. and choice to DB, which is a wrong answer. Let us say this is CC, also a wrong answer, and this is DD. Suppose all the 4 options are correct, for example, then you need to select a multiple answer, right? And all the 4 options are correct. That means for each answer you have to give the equal share, like for example 25%. Okay, so 25% here and 25% here, like this. Okay, so this is the setting आपको करना है. मैं एक सिंगल आंसर का बता देता हूँ आपको. ओके, देन गो बैक टू द, हमने 4 ऑप्शन दिया है, ठीक है. इसमें एक करेक्ट ऑप्शन है, इसमें 3 ऑप्शन होंगे, सेव एंड चेंजेस. Now you will find the preview option is there. You can preview the framing of the question. So यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन आएगा, यहाँ पे ऑप्शन आएंगे. Okay. Now you can just recheck by fill in the correct option. तो मैंने A को 100% दिया, इसलिए यहाँ पे सिलेक्ट हो गया and it shows the correct answer. So you can preview the question also and finally save and changes. Okay. So this is the first question. This is the question by question framing. Okay. So I think we will take break here. Madam. Hello. Hello. Hello, madam. Should we take break here?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Sir, we'll take the break.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
हेलो.
Madam.
हाँ सर. सर
Should we
ब्रेक.
take break here?
यस सर, यस प्लीज.
हाँ, चलेगा.
हो फ्रेंड्स, मीटिंग को लीव मत करिए. 10 मिनट का ब्रेक ले लेते हैं यहाँ पे, फिर सर आगे का पार्ट कवर करेंगे. ओके. ओके.